There's a possibility that I'm in labor right now. Not really in labor right now because nothing's happening. But last night I was awake for like 2 or 3 hours with contractions. And then today I had contractions kind of on and off. And they slowed down like as I was going about my day, which is pretty normal, but I could definitely tell the baby has dropped. The baby is a lot lower than before. And I'm kind of freaking out because I just don't feel ready at all. It's 10 days until the due date, which seems like I should be ready by now. But I feel like I need one more day. We just got a few things done at Walmart, picked up some stuff, and then realized that we forgot a water hose for the birthing pool so that we can fill it up. So Mark just went to Walmart, but I really wanted him to be here to like help me get stuff put together, like the house put back together. And I've just been gone all day, and it's kind of a stressful day. And so I just don't really want to end it with having a baby. Just because I don't feel like I'm in that headspace. Anyway, so I'm really nervous that it's going to happen anyway. But with Liam's birth, so I had these kind of contractions for like 3 days before I had him. So he had, let's see, he was born on a Sunday morning, and Friday night I thought I was in labor, so I called my midwife and she came over and I wasn't. Then Saturday I went to this festival and walked around all day and kind of felt like I was crampy. And then Saturday night I went home, and at midnight I got a snack and I felt kind of just crampy, like my period kind of crampy, not anything super insane. And then I ate a yogurt, which is funny that I remember that, and then immediately threw it up. And just like, I went from just feeling kind of icky and crampy to like unbearable, like labor pains, like contractions. The baby's actually moving a lot right now. Anyway, and so I just, so like with that, then I did have like a couple days warning. And then I had Liam 3.5 hours later. And he was not my longest nor my shortest birth. He was right in the middle of the other two. And then with Eloise, the day before I gave birth to her, or the night before I gave birth to her, I guess I should say, then I was having kind of like cramps that would wake me up, but not really keep me awake, just like icky feeling. And can you see my belly move? It's crazy. So that's so fun to see the baby move so much. Where was I? Eloise. So with Eloise, she was my second, and she was really fast. I knew I was going to go into labor with her, so I got a ton done that day after having some contractions the night before. Got lots done, and then went into labor actually at midnight again, just like with Liam. And then I actually went into labor with her by my water breaking, or leaking first. I wasn't even contracting at the time. And within 30 minutes after my water breaking, then I started getting contractions, and they got intense pretty fast. And then 2 hours after that, then I had her. So after my water broke, 2.5 hours later, I had her, and it was the fastest, most intense birth. I honestly would not want to do that again. I would rather a long birth that was a little more gentle than have one that was that extreme, because it was like contractions right on top of each other, and then it just got like super intense, and I was shaking after, like my body went into shock, and I was shaking after and really cold, which can happen, you know, when you have trauma to the body that happens so fast. So hers was a little bit more intense, even though she was a much smaller baby. She was like 2 pounds less than Liam. Liam was 10 pounds and Ella was 8 pounds 5 ounces. And then Penelope was probably my easiest birth, but also my longest, which is crazy that the easiest was the longest. She was 6.5 hours. I also went into labor with her at midnight. So it's 11 o'clock right now. So I'm kind of giving it an hour and I'm like, am I going to go into labor at midnight again? Anyway, so at midnight, I went into labor with her by my water breaking. That's how I knew I was in labor, or going into labor. And then just like with Ella, about 30 minutes later, the contractions started and they weren't super intense this time, which was really nice. I had a lot of breaks. Like I would have one that was a little more intense and then another contraction that wasn't so intense. But with her, like all my kids were born in the water, but with her, we filled up the we filled up the birthing tub with a brand new hose that we had just bought, except there must have been something in the hose. We didn't rinse it out first, which we should have, and it got put in the pool. Anyway, so the bottom was gritty, and we think it must have been like some kind of metal shavings. Anyway, when you give birth in a pool, you put salt in it so that it kills like bacteria and things like that. And the salt reacted with the metal in the water, like the metal shavings from the hose, and it burnt my legs. I had like it just started hurting really bad, and so I got out and I rinsed off, and then we just filled up the regular bathtub, which I had a small house anyway, and it wasn't like a tiny bathtub. It was pretty deep, but it was just a standard size. It wasn't like a soaker's tub or anything, but it was a little bit deeper than like the, builder's grade bathtubs. It was like a bathtub from the 60s. So it was, anyway, made a little better. So I ended up getting out and getting in the regular bathtub with her. But then I had little, like these burns on my legs, which made it a little bit miserable. But I labored with her for 6.5 hours. So at 6:30 a.m. she was born. And she was only 7.5 pounds. So she was my smallest and my longest birth, but hers was like just super gentle. Like she went so easy on me. I was really nervous after Ella's birth that it was going to be a really rough birth. And so I think I kind of like held back a little. Anyway, so I have a lot of fears going into this birth, not like that I'm afraid of the actual birth, just that I am afraid of the unknown. Like I feel like my labors have been similar in ways, but also very different. All three of them have been so different. And I don't know if I should have a water birth being in an RV, or if I should just try to do a regular, like they call it a land birth. Oh, I'm getting sleepy. Maybe I should just try to sleep it off. You can't do that. When you go into labor, you just go into labor. I know. Anyway, so I don't know if I should do a regular birth or if I should do a water birth. Mark just left to go to Walmart because they closed at 11. Actually, he just called me and he just left Walmart because we forgot to buy a hose. However, they didn't have any hoses at Walmart because it's almost winter. And so he remembered we had just bought a brand new hose at our last RV park to like run sprinklers, and then we never opened it, and it's been in our storage. So he's going to go ahead and just use that one, and he has an adapter, and we'll just rinse it out really well just to make sure it's all clean. And then we'll go ahead and try, I guess. I don't know. I'm still like up in the air about the whole water birth thing. I don't know. I guess we'll kind of see like how fast I feel like I'm progressing when labor starts, because I think it's going to be quite a process to try to heat up enough water for the pool, because our water tank is only like 10 gallons, I think. That is definitely not enough for a pool or like a large bathtub, which is about the size of the pool. Anyway, so that's our dilemma. It's after 11. I'm going to try to go to sleep. I think what I'll do is go ahead and put some lavender, something like lavender essential oil on my stomach to try to make like my muscles calm down. Maybe put a diffuser on with some essential oils and just cuddle up in bed and try to get some sleep and see if I can get my body to calm down enough to give it another day. Because if I could go tomorrow and like just get a little bit more prepped, I feel like I'd be in a better headspace. Anyway, I will keep you guys updated. It's really exciting, but also really nerve-wracking. So it's been 2 days and still pregnant. So guess that was a false alarm. Or maybe it's gonna be like Liam and I'll have the baby tonight. Who knows?